bloody camera cut off on my ass while I was talking. Like I was saying, if you didn't satisfy a woman sexually, that means you didn't do what you were supposed to do as a man. The woman would get angry and upset. So if you, let's say you dump a girl and you date you a supermodel, well, that girl's gonna get revenge on you because you dumped her for a supermodel, or you dumped her for an actress or a cheerleader. And then she accuses you of sexual harassment because you dumped her for another beautiful, attractive woman. So that's two scenarios that a man that's rich and famous gets accused of sexual harassment. So when you see a lot of these men who are producers, film directors, screenwriters, even in the music business, and I'm going to touch on that in this video too. A lot of times these men date these women, they take these women out to lunch and dinner, and they promise these women Hollywood roles in television and film. And when a woman goes 10 years or 15 years or 20 years of her career in television and film as an actress, and she never wins an Oscar, don't even become nominated for an Oscar, and this woman doesn't even get a reward for best picture or for best actress, when she don't even get any individual reward or accomplishment for all her hard work, then the actress starts to wonder, why did I, give up the booty if I'm not getting nothing out of the deal or nothing out of return? So then once this woman's 35, 40, 45 years old and she's older and she's been replaced, that's when she starts telling the news media and the press, yeah, this man sexually did this to me, that to me, because these producers and these directors promise these women, Oscars, Golden Globes, Academy Awards, and future roles in movies and television shows of billion-dollar or million-dollar movie franchises. And when they told these women, you're getting a little older and we want somebody like Jennifer Lawrence, we want someone like Scarlett Johansson, well, what do you do if you're a B-level actress or a C-level actress? How do you compete with Jennifer Lawrence? How do you compete with Scarlett Johansson? If you're not Charlize Theron, how do you compete with that? So a lot of these actresses that were actresses in the 80s and the 90s are the ones that are coming out saying, yeah, this happened to me on set, that happened to me on set, and a lot of these guys get accused of it. And I'm not sticking up for the producers and the directors that do this type of stuff. What I'm saying is that's why in today's society, if you look at Justin Bieber, when Justin Bieber throws house parties, Justin Bieber has to make women sign a contract and have their signature on paper. And his lawyer told him to do that because these women can accuse you of anything. And guess what? He also has cameras in his house. And now that you mention it, I think it'd be a good idea if you have a camera. Not like film a girl while you're, talking to her, but if you have cameras in the, bathroom, or cameras when you're eating lunch or dinner, or you're out in the water pool, have cameras outside, stuff like that. So that way, that whenever you get accused of sexual harassment, when you go to court, you can prove that you did no such crime. Because what's gonna happen to a lot of heterosexual men, including myself, that because you're rich and famous, because you're a big public figure, you are a target to people who are broke, who work a miserable 9-to-5 job, and everyone's gonna come after you because you have money. And even in the music industry, a lot of these music producers get accused of sexual harassment. But I'm telling you what the main cause and the main problem is. The women who are doing all of this are mad because their careers got flushed down the toilet. 5, 10 years go by real fast, real quick, and they're irrelevant. Nobody cares about them singing on a CD. Nobody cares about these girls trying to break into R&B and music. And then what happens is these females start coming out with these books and start telling the whole world the dirty secrets of the music industry. How certain R&B artists are mispromiscuous and how they can't keep it in their pants. And then the rapper gets mad because the girl wrote a book and talked about in the book how the man's a dog. That is because they promised these women that, oh yeah, I'm going to take care of you and your career no matter what. And these women fall for it every single time. And if these women would stop being tricked and deceived by film producers and film directors and music producers, then they wouldn't be getting hurt. And then when these women get 35, 40, 45, they're jealous because they've got replaced. And you see all the anger, like when you look at X-Men Apocalypse and how that actress complained about the poster of Apocalypse choking Mystique when basically she was trying to say, look in the manner that she's being choked. Well, did it ever occur to you that that actress wanted to be in those X-Men films because that was a movie franchise that made millions of dollars and she got passed up for those movies because they wanted someone that was young and athletic? That's why I said if you're an actress that's 35, 40, 45 years old, how do you compete with someone like Scarlett Johansson, Jennifer Lawrence, and Charlize Theron? Now, I'm gonna make a big prediction for you men right now. They asked Robert De Niro and Al Pacino like 20 years ago about their love life. Like, how do you handle all of this in the press as an actor? And I think Robert De Niro said it best. I think it's best you do your business outside the United States in foreign countries and not inside the United States. Because when you do, guess what happens? All types of stuff break loose. And I predict that in the future, a lot of men are going to get passports and go to all these other foreign countries because when people see that you're rich and famous, they see you as a target. They see an opportunity to get some money. But a lot of times, these guys break up with these girls and they go after supermodels, fitness models, booty models, and they date porn actresses. And then these women get jealous and angry and envious. And then they make up stuff in the media because they want some attention. Just the idea of getting replaced is not a very good feeling. I mean, imagine if you got kicked off the basketball team, or if you got kicked off the football team, or the baseball team, or the soccer team, and you got replaced. Do you know how angry and enraged you will be if you got replaced? And these older women that's 35, 40, 45 years old, they don't know how to sit down like a mature person and say, I don't like the fact that I wasn't being cast in television and film. And you see a lot of these women who do this are hypocrites because it wasn't a problem when you was 20, 25 years old. You didn't have a problem with these perverted ass film producers and film directors touching your breasts and filling all up on your butt. It wasn't a convenient problem for you. But now that you're 35, 45 years old, it's a convenient problem because you're not being cast in movies and television shows. How do you think a lot of these franchise owners who owns basketball and football teams, a lot of those men are targets too? So now a lot of these men are very nervous because you say one thing or you do one thing wrong, and 15, 20, 25, 30 years later, you're in court for something that happened 3 decades ago. Now, the billion-dollar question that a lot of men are going to ask, well, how do we stop it from happening? And I'm afraid that you're going to have to start just not doing anything. Because Now, because you're rich and famous, you can't just assume that because you're rich and famous, nothing bad happens to you. That goes to show you right there that when they say fame and fortune has a price to pay, that's exactly what they mean by there is a big, big, big price to pay for being rich and famous. Like when people be laughing at guys who don't really go out to the clubs and don't go out to the bars, you know why a lot of rich older guys stay away from the bars and the clubs? Because of sexual harassment claims. Like, how can I have fun if I'm rich and famous if someone points fingers at me and then 2 decades or 3 decades go by, all of a sudden I'm in court for something that's 3 decades ago? I had sex with this girl when I was poor and broke. Now I'm rich and famous. Now I'm in court for something that's really old. And pretty soon, a lot of men are gonna stop doing it. Period. And you see what's gonna end up happening is a lot of these big time actors, a lot of these big time directors, they're gonna start doing what they call indie films. They're gonna start going to another circuit of filmmaking, and they're gonna start going to these foreign countries and start doing movies in foreign countries, and stop, doing the stuff they do. Even in the NFL, a lot of those coaches and a lot of the staff, they get accused of sexual harassment because, you see them cheerleaders with them tight butt shorts on, and you be looking at the butt, and then next thing you know, you lose your job as a head NFL coach because you harassed a cheerleader. So now you got to be very careful because whether you're rich or famous or not, someone could be looking at you and you could be a target. It could be 4 decades later and they can bring you into court. And the idea of doing that is terrifying and scary. And that's why a lot of men who are rich and famous don't want to do nothing when they get money, because every time they do something, they're always being watched. And that's why I said it's better to have cameras in your house and outside your house, and make women sign contracts that if they do anything, that they have to abide by the contract. And if they don't sign a contract, they don't have to. But what I'm saying as a man, you might want to be careful, because in my videos, why do you think I make videos about traveling the world? So that's how rich men can get in trouble with sexual harassment. If you dump a female and for 10 years that girl can't get over the fact that you dumped her, yeah, you might want to look both ways when you cross the street, buddy, because she might dime your ass out to the court system. If you ain't putting it down in the bedroom right, and 20 years go by, you might want to look both ways across the street, because you might find yourself in court. So I've now named off the scenarios on how rich men can get in trouble of sexual harassment. You dump a girl because you don't find her physically sexually attractive, yeah, they could use that against you too. So you might want to think twice about how you perceive yourself out in the public eye. So I didn't want to make this video longer than it already is. This is part 3. Unfortunately, my camera cut the film in half, so now you got 2 videos to part 3. So that concludes my series on sexual harassment.